What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Jerica, and I am back, y'all, with part 2 of Aaron's story. If you missed part 1, there is a link to part 1 in the description box. Go back and watch it, and then come back to this video. But anyway, we are about to continue our study on Aaron, so get ready for this one. All right, y'all. So last time we talked about who Aaron was, where he came from, and we talked about his situation with the golden calf, and we ended with him being consecrated as the high priest of Israel. So we are going to continue from there. What happens next in Aaron's life is both pitiful and sad. So when Aaron and his sons, he had 4 sons, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. Their names are at the bottom of the screen because I could totally be butchering their names. Aaron plus his 4 sons were trained in the ways of a priest. There was certain rituals and certain ways that a priest was to behave. And God told Moses how to teach them how to be that way. So after Moses taught Aaron and his sons how to offer up sacrifice to God, two of Aaron's sons, Nadab and Abihu, decided to do their own thing, completely opposite of what Moses taught them. And they decided to light their own incense to offer up sacrifice to God. So they brought in profane fire to the tabernacle of meeting, and God deemed that as disrespectful, and he killed them on the spot. They were set on fire. So a lot of people look at that and they be like, I don't understand why it's such a big deal. What y'all need to understand is that in the tabernacle meeting, God was there. He came as a fire. So the fire that was lit in that temple or lit in that tent was actually God. It was nothing. Moses didn't strike a match. Aaron didn't strike a match. God himself was that fire. That fire was pure, and it was God. That was God's spirit. God would be a cloud during the day and fire at night, I believe. But when he came into that tabernacle, he came as fire. So he would light that thing that he was sitting in, and it would be him. He's the fire. God felt completely disrespected because here they come in bringing in this man-made fire as if it was better. And it was already them being disobedient because they were going against what Moses had already taught them about offering sacrifice. So you ain't been a priest for long. You done already messed up being disobedient and bringing in your own fire when God was the fire. And so because of that, God felt deeply disrespected, and he felt like nobody was taking him serious because they wasn't. If God had let that slide, it would have kept happening over and over. And it's the same way with parenting with your children. You keep letting your child get away with something, they gonna feel like they can keep doing it. But when you punish them that first time, they ain't doing it no more. That's what this was. God said, I'm not to be played with. I'm something real and I'm something serious. So God killed Aaron's 2 sons instantly. They were burnt up, set ablaze, because they were being disrespectful, and they brought in fire that wasn't God. They brought in their own fire, like as if it was gonna be better. The fact that they broke Levitical law, because at this point there is law. The whole book of Leviticus tell you everything you need to do. They broke Levitical law, and then they brought their own unholy fire into the temple, which basically means idolization. Just like back in the day when they did the golden calf idol, when they brought their own fire and called it Yahweh and talking about they offering up sacrifice, idol. God said nah, because his fire was God fire. God was at the altar already. He didn't need you to bring nothing else. He just needs you to bring the sacrifice. He didn't need you to bring your own fire. So basically, they was doing like what Aaron had did back in the past. Aaron created a cow statue and called it God. They brought in some their own fire and called it God, and that is idolization. And God don't play. He tired. So he punished them immediately. And what I want to say about Aaron is I want to big Aaron up because he didn't cry. As a matter of fact, the Bible says that Aaron held his peace when God revealed what happened and why he killed those two boys or two men. Aaron held his peace. Aaron knew God was not to be played with. He knew God was serious. And he didn't say nothing. Because he could have easily went off. He could have got mad and said something against God. He did not. He didn't at all. He held his peace, which is what the Bible said. He because he was understanding of what God was talking about. And also, I don't think he wanted to get set on fire either. I also told Aaron, you're not allowed to grieve your sons. Because if you grieve them and you cry about them dying, then it's going to look like I'm wrong. And I'm not wrong. Because God was not wrong. God is a holy being, and he should be regarded as a holy being. And people need to stop playing with God. So God said, he told Aaron, you can't grieve for them publicly. Because if you do, everybody going to think that I'm wrong. And I'm not wrong. If Aaron grieved his sons, he most definitely did it in private. Nobody else saw it. Now the question is, why did Nadab and Abihu was killed instantly when they did this, but Aaron didn't die when he did the golden calf situation? Because the situations are similar. Well, here's why. When Aaron did the golden calf situation, the people of Israel had not yet made their covenant with God. Nor was Aaron a priest. He was not a high priest. Let me tell you something. If Aaron was a high priest at the time of this, if he had at the time of the golden calf situation, if Aaron was the high priest and they had made their covenant with God, Aaron would have got killed. God would have made sure he was done for. But see, back then, Aaron ended up getting a little more grace during the golden calf situation because he was not a high priest and they had not yet made a covenant with God. Because like I said, Moses was on top of the mountain trying to finalize the covenant with God before he brought it down to the people. So they had not made the covenant with God yet. So God was slightly more forgiving of that situation. And like I said previously, Moses had interceded for Aaron for God to forgive him. So God was slightly more he went a little easy on Aaron in the golden calf situation because of Moses interceding for him, and also because there was no covenant made yet, and Aaron was not the high priest yet. Now in this situation, Aaron and his sons had all been consecrated as priests. They all had agreed to the covenant with God, and they all had been trained in Levitical law. They all knew better. So essentially, during the golden calf situation, Aaron didn't really know better. But now, during the situation where he's now the high priest, his sons are now all consecrated as priests as well. So they are in line to be high priests. And they all have been taught in Levitical law. They know better. So because they know better, you are being punished because you knew better than to do this. So that is why Nadab and Abihu were punished immediately when they did what they did, because you have been trained in this. You have made a covenant with God and you have said that you wouldn't do this. When you made the covenant with God, you said you wouldn't do this. Because one of the freaking commandments is, I will not create an idol for myself. And that's what they did when they brought the fire in. They created an idol. So that's why Aaron skated on punishment with the golden calf situation, and Nadab and Abihu didn't skate on punishment with this whole fire situation, because the stipulations were different now. So now we finna move along. Remember I told y'all that Aaron was a follower. If somebody like pressure Aaron too much, Aaron will buckle. And we find that out in Numbers 12 when him and his sister go up against Moses. Y'all, I did a video on it. Y'all, Miriam was a very headstrong woman. And she was the older sister of Aaron and Moses. She was also a prophetess, one of the first female prophets, and she was very popular among the people of Israel. They really loved her. So what happens in Numbers 12 is, I'm going to just kind of paraphrase because I did a video on this and I'll leave a link to that in the description box. She tried to come for Moses' position and she used Aaron as her backup. And like I said, when you put pressure on Aaron, he buckles. It don't matter who it is, and he a people pleaser. So Miriam and Aaron come up to Moses and they're like, we don't like the fact that you got I think she was a Kenite, Moses' wife. Basically, she was a black woman. They said, we don't like that you got a black wife. That's what they said initially. And then it turned into, who you think you is, that you can tell us what to do, that you can do this, you can do that. You think you the only person that talked to God. This is what Miriam said to Moses. And Aaron was like, yup. You know, he was a yes man, very much so. Yup, Miriam, yup, yup, you right, yup, I don't know who Moses think he is, And they felt that since God had communicated with them spiritually, that they should be leaders of Israel as well. Like I said, Moses was the political leader of Israel, and Aaron was their priest and spiritual leader. Miriam was a prophetess, but she didn't really have like an actual position. Moses was the leader of the people, and Aaron was a high priest. So Aaron actually had position. He had a pretty high position. But like I said, he just went along with Miriam, and she needed somebody to back her up. And who better to back you up than the actual high priest of the people? Also, like, if y'all want to, I might do a video on Miriam. Just let me know in the comments if that's something y'all be interested in. But anyway, God himself comes down and he sets the record straight. He tell Moses, Miriam, and Aaron that he chose Moses to be the leader of the people, and that there is no person in the world that he communicates with the way he communicates with Moses. He told them that if Moses tells you that I said something, it is fact, because I sit and I talk to Moses face to face. I look up on his face. There is no other person in this Bible who God looks upon their face. When Jesus was here, God didn't even look up on Jesus' face. Moses would go up a mountain and sit up there for a month and a half looking at God face to face. And God told Moses and Miriam, he said, he specifically was talking to Miriam because Miriam was a prophetess. And he told her, I will send a message to you in a dream. But I ain't never come down and talk to you face to face in person. I talked to Moses face to face in person. There's a difference between Moses and a prophet. When I tell you he set her straight like that, there's a difference between him and you. Okay? So, when God comes and set the record straight, he strikes Miriam with leprosy. And Aaron skates on this punishment. And I'm going to tell you why. Miriam is struck with leprosy because, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, when I first read this, I did not understand why Aaron didn't get punished as well. So I had to go back and do some studying and you really have to read in between the lines. You have to really pay attention to what you're reading. What I realized is God was directly talking to Miriam. Because the truth of the matter is, Miriam was actually the one challenging Moses. Aaron was just a yes man saying, yup, but he wasn't actually in challenging Moses' position. Miriam was, because she wanted Moses' position. She was the one actually questioning Moses' relationship with God. And that ended up being disrespectful to God, because by her questioning Moses, she was questioning God, because everything that Moses did was what God told him to do, and that was disrespect to God, and God did not like that. So of course he come down. They did not invoke God. They did not call on him. He came of his own volition. He came to the tabernacle meeting. He heard them arguing in another tent and called all three of them and told all three of them to come to the tent, and we finna take this thing straight right now. God did it on his own. And like I said, Miriam was being disrespectful to God. So God was only talking to her. He wasn't really considering Aaron at all. Because like I said, if we talking about heart, Aaron wasn't coming to challenge Moses' position. He was just coming to back up Miriam, to help Miriam out, because she probably told him, come on, I need you to back me up. And he was like, okay, sure, yeah. And he just went along with whatever she was saying, because he's a people pleaser and he does not want to hurt nobody's feelings, or he don't want to rock the boat. So he just went along with her. He just followed her into the temple, into the tent to argue with Moses. But she was the one doing all the talking. So when you read the Bible, you see that God directly addressed Miriam. He don't even address Aaron. Another reason Aaron wasn't struck with leprosy is because when you sick or you struck with leprosy, that means you are unclean. Aaron is the high priest of the people. Who the heck finna intercede for these people if the high priest is unclean? There was no one else. So because of that, God could not have his high priest with leprosy. And also, like I said, Miriam's heart was a little harder than Aaron's. Because as we continue reading through Numbers 12, what we find out is that she don't even ask God for forgiveness. You know who asked for forgiveness on her behalf? Aaron. Aaron intercedes for Miriam in that moment. Aaron apologizes to Moses and then intercedes for Miriam. And then he asks Moses to intercede for Miriam as well. Miriam never opens her mouth to say nothing, because the truth of the matter is Miriam has some pride and God had to break that pride down. So Moses and Aaron asked God to forgive her and asked him to cleanse her. He asked God to cleanse her skin of the leprosy, and God said, nah, she finna live with this punishment for 7 days. So she had to live with it for 7 days, and she had to sit outside the Israel camp, and they couldn't move until she was clear. But God was like, I had to make an example out of her, because with her coming in here questioning Moses, that means she questioning me, because everything that Moses say are the decisions that I make. You talking about you know me, but do you really know me? So, God set her straight. And in that moment, we see Aaron intercede for his sister. And the reason he wasn't punished is because his heart was not in challenging Moses. Hers was. He wasn't questioning Moses and Moses' relationship with God. Miriam was. He was just standing by. Now, in my opinion, I feel like he should have been punished for that as well, for just standing by, because what he should have said was, nah, sis, you wrong. I can't support you on that. But he didn't. But, I'm not God, and God didn't see fit to where he needed to punish Aaron for that. He punished Miriam. And also, like I said, how I knew God was talking directly to Miriam is because he said prophet. Miriam was a prophet. Aaron is not a prophet. Aaron is a high priest. There is a complete difference between a prophet and a priest. During Aaron's time as the high priest, we never have another golden calf situation, or like that situation with the fire with his sons. We never have that situation again. One thing we learn about Aaron, like I said, in this situation with his sister Miriam, is that Aaron has a heart for people. And as soon as he saw his sister with that leprosy and suffering, he started interceding for her immediately. He asked Moses for forgiveness, he asked God for forgiveness, and he started interceding for her. Mind you, Miriam's mouth didn't open. Her heart was hard, and her outside finally matched her inside. So Aaron had a heart, and we're gonna find out how big Aaron's heart was in part 3. So make sure y'all come back next week for our final part in the Aaron series. We're going to wrap this thing up. I hope y'all like this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with all your friends, family. And if y'all like this type of video where I'm only talking about a person as opposed to doing just one Bible story, let me know. Leave it in the comments. But like I said, y'all come back for part 3, and we're going to wrap up this thing on Aaron. I've done something similar to this, I guess, with Job. Go watch the Job videos. It's 4 parts. Great little series, if I do say so myself. But anyway, y'all, please come back for the finale of Aaron's story. And we're just gonna go over how Aaron, progressed from that golden calf situation to the ending. But yeah, come back next week for the finale of Aaron. Like, comment, and share this video. And and until next time, my name is Jerica, and I'll see y'all. Bye, y'all. See you next week. It's the day. Can't see the sun for the clouds. Just know it's alright now. Gotta keep your head up. Be strong, don't give up.